Good morning, children. Today I am going to explain poetic devices. Poetic devices are the language tools. These tools are used in a language to beautify it. The poet uses the poetic devices to make the poem beautiful, or any writer which uses the poetic devices, they use them to beautify their language of writing, whatever writing they are writing, like some drama they are writing, so there will be the tone that is tragic, comic. Likewise, in poems there are poetic devices the poets used, which make them interesting. The readers feel the piece of writing more interesting if the poet has used the poetic devices. So poetic devices are a tool which are used to beautify the piece of writing. So first poetic device is alliteration, the practice of beginning several consecutive or neighboring words with the same sound. Now, in alliteration, repetition of sound in a line. The twisting trout twinkled below. In this example, you see the T sound has been repeated. So, it is alliteration. Allusion. Second poetic device is allusion. Allusion means in this device, the poet uses some reference to a mythological, literary, or historic person, place, or thing. Now, example is given here. He met his Waterloo. Waterloo is the place where some war was taken place. So, here the place from history has been mentioned. He met his Waterloo. Assonance. The third poetic device is assonance. In this poetic device, repetition of accented vowel sounds in a series of words are used. The words, see the example, cry and sighed. In the two words cry, I sound is repeated. Cry and sighed. So they have the same vowel sound. In assonance, vowel sound is repeated. Consonance. In consonance, as from the name it is consonants. So repetition of consonants. Consonants. In consonance, repetition of consonants is done. So example you see, and each slow dusk a drawing down of blind. So repetition of consonant D, dusk drawing down, and blinds D again. So the sound is in consonance as well as the S sound, slow, dusk, blinds. S sound is also repeated. Hyperbole. A deliberate, extravagant, and often outrageous exaggeration to talk about something in exaggeration. The shot heard round the world. Now, in this, the sound of shot, they are saying that the sound of shot was so loud that it was audible around the world. So it is hyperbole. Metaphor. Now, in this poetic device, comparison is done between two unlike, that is different things, and it is said directly that time is money. When we say time is money, so we are comparing time to money, but we are calling it directly. So two different things, but they are compared. There is one more same poetic device in which there is comparison, but we use like or as to compare the things. That we will discuss later. But metaphor, uh, in metaphor also there is comparison between two different things, but here we mention directly that time is money. Onomatopoeia, the use of words that mimic the sounds they describe. When onomatopoeia is used on an extended scale in a poem, it is called imitative harmony. So, sound of animals, sound of things like clinking of bells or clinging of coins, murmur sound of door, hissing sound of snake, buzzing of bees. So buzz, hiss, bang, door bangs. So these direct sounds we are mentioning in the poem. So wherever you see like this hiss, buzz, bang, these are what onomatopoeia. Oxymoron. Next poetic device is oxymoron. It is a form of paradox that combines a pair of opposite terms. Oxymorons. It is a pair of opposite terms into a single unusual expression. Now, two again opposite things have been used in a single expression, like cold fire. Now, fire is hot generally, but here it has been said that cold fire, or sweet sorrow. Now, sorrow, that is pain. Pain cannot be sweet, but it has been mentioned like it is a sweet sorrow. So, these kind of terms are used. These are called oxymoron. Two opposite terms are used in single unusual expression. Next is personification, a kind of metaphor that gives inanimate objects or abstract ideas human characterization. The wind cried in the dark. Now, personification is where we call some non-living thing as a human being. Like here in this example, the wind cried in the dark. So wind is crying. The wind generally blows. In simple sentences we call the wind blows, but here in writing the author says the wind cried in the dark. So it is personification. The wind has been presented here as human beings and it is crying. Rhyme, the repetition of sounds in two or more words or phrases that appear close to each other in a poem. End rhyme, internal rhyme, and slant rhyme are all different types of rhymes. So, like we say, twinkle, twinkle, little star, however, wonder what you are. So, if we take the last sound of each line, like star, are, so star and are rhyming words. Then there is how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Sky and high, they are rhyme. So they are rhyming words. We take the rhyming words and the rhyming scheme is taken from there, like star and r, they are two sounds, same kind of sounds, star and r. Then sky and high, so there it will be a and b. There are different types of rhyme schemes, end rhyme, internal rhyme, slant rhyme, that I will also discuss you in detail later. in another video. Now the next is simile. It is again a comparison of two different things or ideas through the use of the words like or as. Example, the warrior fought like a lion. Now, warrior fought like a lion. So here the warrior has been compared to lion. So again it is comparison between two different things using the words like and as. And in metaphor, as I told earlier, again it was a comparison between two dissimilar things, but we do not use like or as in those metaphor. It was, we can say, the warrior was the only lion in the army. So the same example you can see, I am saying the warrior was the lion in the army. So that is metaphor, and if I use the warrior fought like a lion, that is simile. When we are using like or as, that is simile. So that's it, students. Thank you. Have a great day.